Next generation consoles have still a lot to prove. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about next generation games on current gen consoles. And yes, I said that on purpose. Next generation games on current gen consoles, because I'm afraid that this generation, even though it's been over 2 years since these consoles launched, I'm talking about PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, we haven't really seen a proper next gen game. Yes, we got quite a lot of pretty looking games running fantastic in higher resolution, 60 frames per second, some games 120 frames per second. That's all great, but these features, these things feels like upgrades, not like next gen things, right? And I want to talk about proper next generation games because, you know, we haven't really got any yet, in my opinion. I mean, some games maybe got close to it, I guess. Ratchet Clank with its super fast SSD, but even Digital Foundry proved that that game can run on any SSD, NVMe SSD. So even that game really haven't utilized the PlayStation 5 capabilities, not even close, really, right? So yeah, there were some, you know, great games here and there: Forza Horizon, Gran Turismo 7, Ratchet Clank, and you know, other great games. But hey, even Halo Infinite, I know I will get hate for it, but I actually really enjoyed it, like, despite it being just a shadow of previous games, but still kind of cool game. So yeah, but you know, you see what I'm going with this. Like we are getting, like, you know, high resolutions, frames in large generation games, and I know that it's mainly due to the fact that developers were held back by COVID, right? I mean, COVID did put a wrench into the very well-oiled machinery in many development studios, right? People all of a sudden had to start working from home. You know, not everyone was prepared for it, right? And you know, it's a very creative kind of environment, so you know, you have to work with people, not on your own, and stuff, right? So that obviously delayed a lot of things and things, a lot of games, and you know, that's obviously sad. But hey, my point still stands. We still haven't really gotten any proper next-gen games. And I'm not even talking about graphics, because I've been complaining about these games recently not only being broken, but also working at like lower resolutions, or, you know, frame rate or something like that. That's game optimization, and, you know, developers needs to actually, you know, needs to start working and spending more time, you know, optimizing for these consoles, in my opinion. But that's another issue, right? Because that's more like bug fixing after releasing these games. And so it's actually funny that, you know, people that pay full price for the game are kind of like a beta testers, and then 3-4 weeks after launch you get like much better experience for half of money a lot of times, right? Which is sad, kind of, really, because you are being punished for being eager to play a game, really, right? So that's not fair, but it is what it is. That's why I don't always jump on, you know, games day one, because it makes no sense. But I want to focus really on that next gen thing that I'm looking in games, and to be honest with you, I don't even know what that could be. All I'm saying is that, you know, before this generation started, there was a lot of talk about, you know, much faster CPU. So hopefully things like AI would improve, physics would improve, right? Because, like, for example, if you compare last generation consoles CPU to previous generation of consoles, these CPUs were not really much of an upgrade, right? Like, if you compare PlayStation 3's CPU and PlayStation 4 CPU, they offer similar performance. Like, obviously different architecture, but PlayStation 4 didn't really get much of an upgrade when it comes to actually CPU, jumping from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. It was easier to take advantage of it, but it was not really more powerful because these CPUs were really weak. So developers couldn't really push AI or physics or whatever they could do with CPU, for example, right? And and now this generation, obviously, Xbox Series S, X, PlayStation 5 have got like much more capable CPUs. Some even say that 4 times faster or 4 times more capable, maybe I should say, because it's not only about speed, it's also about like architectural changes and stuff. But these CPUs are much more capable, and hopefully with that we will see better physics, AI, and looking at Forza Motorsport running in the background. That's like the gameplay footage, some of the gameplay footage. And basically, they promise that the physics engine is going to be different, proper next gen, and AI hopefully as well. And so it's not only about pretty graphics, because you can clearly see that Forza Motorsport will look fantastic, and it will run at 4K, dynamic 4K, 60 frames per second with ray tracing in game. So that's impressive in itself, right? But the question is, how will that game feel to play like, right? That's the big thing. Is that going to feel better? Is it really going to feel next gen when you will actually sit in front of TV and play that game? That's what I'm actually curious about, right? Another thing is that, for example, there has been quite a lot of talk before this generation started that SSD will transform the way developers are making games. No more loading screens, no more this or that. Data streaming will allow to build these huge open worlds with whatever you can do in them, right? Like, new Peter Molyneux kind of game, if you know what I mean, right? And so far we haven't really seen it, right? Like, even I'll go back to Ratchet Clank. Even Ratchet Clank is not even taking full advantage, even not even close to taking advantage of PlayStation 5 super fast SSD, right? Because Digital Foundry did run some tests, and you can actually run this game on any NVMe SSD. It doesn't have to be that super fast SSD that PlayStation 5 uses, right? So yeah, I'm curious of that. Like, and like I said before, like I understand why this is happening. I understand why we're still not seeing these games, because developers were these projects were delayed by COVID, and they were focusing more on delivering these old projects rather than exploring what they can do with new boxes. I mean, they may be testing these boxes already, I would imagine so. Like 2 years after the launch of these consoles, they would at least have some prototypes of some new technologies to use, for their new future games. But I'm just kind of curious, because like even this year is supposed to be that big year where we'll finally see the shift from most games being cross-gen to most games being current-gen games, right? And we're kind of seeing that already. Like more and more games are coming out being PlayStation 5, Xbox Series console only games, and that's good because developers can actually better utilize better utilize these consoles. But my fear is that some games will still be based in last gen, running on last gen engines, not fully utilizing the Xbox Series consoles and PlayStation 5 capabilities, right? So that's what I want. That's what I want to know, right? Show me something next gen, right? Or is it going to be the case that this is just going to be another generation where we will be playing pretty much the same games with the same limitations? Hopefully not, because these consoles are way more capable, and I'm not even talking about only graphics and performance, but like when it comes to like game design, like apparently SSDs should transform the way developers are making the games. But is it really going to happen? When is that going to happen? I don't know. So guys, but let me know what you think about it. Let me know what kind of feature you would like to see in these games. What would you like to see improve in games? What would you make to say, oh, I feel that this is a proper next-gen game? What would make you to say that? So guys, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.